there is a big opportunity in Wisconsin, particularly following the past really 2 years in Wisconsin, but really this past year, where the Wisconsin Democratic Party has sort of awakened and they have been able to draw people out and get people to vote. And Ron Johnson is in jeopardy. So who will the Democrats end up nominating? Well, very often what you see with these Senate candidates is that Chuck Schumer and the National Senate Election Committee will choose the one who can do the most fundraising. And very often that person is somebody who has millions, hundreds of millions, billions of dollars at their own, of their own, and can finance.
Correction. Daddy can finance, Sam. Please.
They have access to that. Yes. Or daddy can finance. I mean,
he's a very ambitious boy.
Here is a Democratic Senate candidate. His name is Alex Lasry. He is the son of a private equity baron, apparently. And his dad is the owner of the Milwaukee Bucks, which is a basketball team. Watch this clip.
I was excited by the fact that, like, hey, we were like possibly going to buy a basketball team. And like, to me, that was like, and I know for my dad, that was always like a dream of his. I didn't know much about Milwaukee. I knew the Brewers. I knew the Packers were in Wisconsin. I had been to Wisconsin one other time. I went to Oshkosh to help volunteer for Hillary in the primary in 2008 with my sister. And that was it. My first time to Milwaukee was when we came to meet with Senator Cole about possibly purchasing the team. And, I came in with kind of trying to, like, with just keeping an open mind about the city. The only places I'd lived in prior were New York, Philly, and D.C. So, kind of bigger East Coast cities. Mm-hmm. And, when I came here, I think what most surprised me about Milwaukee is the fact that Milwaukee has all of the same things that any other city, especially any other big city, has. Pause
it. So the guy is getting off on or the right foot here, right? Talking about how he kept an open mind that Milwaukee, like, it's in the center of the country. Like, do they even have billionaires in that city?
I thought it was just going to be like a cow patty and like 10 farmers making cheese. But it turns out they have like apartment buildings and sidewalks and everything. It's crazy.
They even have a Trader Joe's.
That is true. They have all those things and motor vehicles as well.
Wow.
Continue.
It has all of the same things that any other city, especially any other big city, has. And I think, when you think about like smaller Midwestern cities, you don't think of them as like, okay, like they should be able to go pound for pound with, with a state like Chicago. Everyone always like Chicago is like, the New York of the Midwest. And what I kind of learned was Milwaukee has everything. It's got a great local art scene. It's got a great local food scene. Two major sports teams that are, killing everyone else. The Packers, if you want to, include them, then you've got three. Great bar scene, great universities. It just kind of had everything that you would want.
Party.
And when people said like, oh, it gets so cold. I mean, it gets cold everywhere.
I love when he lists two major sports teams. Yeah. Right? There's got the Brewers, and what was the other one? Like, what is your connection to Milwaukee?
Actually, doesn't it have three? Well, I guess.
No, the Packers are in Green Bay.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. But I mean, but I love that. I mean, he's very entitled, thinks he could just buy himself a Senate seat. And apparently there is a progressive in the race. It's just the tip of the iceberg here. But
oh man, I've never wanted to see someone get owned more in the past, few days at least.
Hopefully we can make this another Mondaire Jones situation, right? Mondaire Jones was running in a crowded primary in New York for Congress, and he was outspent by a ton by the son of another very, very wealthy Wall Street guy who didn't really stand for much, but he had unlimited resources at his disposal and he lost. And now Mondaire Jones is a congressman and, was the more progressive candidate in that race. So hopefully we can do the same here. But I'm like, it's so entitled to say, I never even visited this state until my dad bought the team. And now I'd like to buy a Senate seat. Is that okay? Because there are human beings here and there's a culture.
There's great bars. There's great bars, man. I mean, come on.
He's got everything he wants.
There's a lot of beer here, too. Did you know that? There's a lot of beer here in Milwaukee.
But luckily he dressed up for that interview.
I was also going to say, are you serious, dude? You're running for Senate? You're going on in a half-on hoodie? At least just put on a wrinkled shirt like this.
I know. And he's being interviewed by a local paper there, though, Sam. It's not like a big-time one like the New York Times, a big city, or even the New York of the Midwest, the Chicago Sun-Times, something like that. Maybe he would have deigned to put on a collared shirt for that. I don't normally harp on that, but it fits into the overall. There's
a certain amount of just incredible privilege.
It sounds like he's doing a recruitment for some, I don't know, corporations, outer offices at the Milwaukee outpost. He's like, come on, dude. It's not bad, man.
Yeah, it's a casual Friday presentation from a middle manager guy at a hedge fund about synergy. That's that's the vibe.
He's the third guy they send out from the Milwaukee Chamber of Commerce to convince people to move their headquarters out. They're like, you're not ready for prime time yet. Why don't you go out and do this? This is a small firm. We're just trying to convince them to move to Milwaukee, get on the Zoom, see how you do. And then the next day they call him into office and say, listen, will you do us a favor? Not wear the hoodie when you're trying to impress people. Okay. Trying to get him to come.
And apparently the progressive candidate running is named Thomas Nelson.
All right. Vote for Thomas Nelson. I'm sold. Purely via negativity on that guy. Couldn't possibly be worse. He's literally a Nick Kroll character. It's like rich dicks get into politics.
Honestly.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
Suela.
I don't know if this guy's actually a progressive, but he is the other candidate. I had to do this on a whim. Sorry.
Well, I have a feeling there's going to be more people who enter into the race, and we will know more about it going forward. But
I don't know. Important. That guy seems hard to beat.
Well, yeah, just oozing charisma.
I mean,
he seems to care.
Well, but the problem is this. I mean, is that, like you say, this guy has unlimited resources, and now that doesn't necessarily mean. I mean, I remember when one of the former Facebook guys, his husband tried to run up in the 20th district, what was, I think, the 20th district at that time. It's now the one that Delgado represents. Zephyr Teachout ran against Faso. But before that, and this guy tried to win, hadn't lived in the district in any meaningful sense. And a year or two out, he started some type of business initiative grant that you could apply for. He's a billionaire or multi-100 millionaire. I don't know. And it was one of those things apply for a grant, get $50,000, $100,000 business grant, seed money, venture capital money on very, very good terms. And it was just a way to sort of I'm going to build community relationships. Now, fortunately it failed, but I wonder in, a statewide type of situation where TV ads and getting on there, that kind of money is sometimes difficult to beat. So it's good that at least he's being exposed early on. and defined early as being a joker.
Yes, and I will just reiterate, I think I was right about Tom Nelson. He was a delegate for Bernie Sanders, called on Democratic, this is from Wikipedia, but he seemed to be more in favor of labor unions. And he has spoken in favor of the Green New Deal in the past. So definitely better than that joker.